The mind is like an ocean, vast, unfathomable, and endlessly shifting. Most people drift along its surface, unaware of the deep currents that shape their course. They float aimlessly at the mercy of the tides, without understanding that beneath the visible waves, the currents of habit, belief, and unconscious desire steer them toward distant shores. These currents are as inevitable as the tides themselves, yet they can be understood and navigated. The question is not whether we will face adversity, it is how we will face it. The greatest power we hold is the ability to understand and harness the unconscious forces that guide our lives. When we gain mastery over them, when we recognize their pull, we discover that nothing in life can truly defeat us. The struggles, the pain, the challenges, they will always be there. But with awareness, with control over the mind, we can navigate through them. The ocean of the unconscious will no longer drag us under. Instead, it will become our ally, guiding us toward fulfillment and purpose. The wisdom of the ancient philosophers, particularly the Stoics, tells us that life is full of trials. The cosmos operates according to principles beyond our control. Yet they also taught that the power to endure and transcend hardship lies not in the world outside us, but in the world within. The Stoics, with their relentless focus on inner strength, understood that everything we encounter is not as important as how we respond to it. It is in mastering the unconscious mind, the habits, thoughts, and beliefs that shape our lives, that we unlock our true potential. Every person has their own ocean, their unique mental landscape, shaped by their experiences, upbringing, desires, and fears. Our actions, thoughts, and emotions are the waves that ripple across the surface, often without our conscious awareness. But beneath this surface, in the depths of our unconscious mind, lie the true currents that drive our lives. These currents are born from the habits we form, the beliefs we hold, and the patterns of thinking we adopt over time. In many ways, we are all slaves to these currents. Without awareness, they carry us in directions we cannot control. We may find ourselves repeating the same mistakes, succumbing to the same fears, and facing the same obstacles over and over again. It can feel like we are at the mercy of an unrelenting sea, helpless to change our course. But the key to navigating this ocean is to bring awareness to the currents beneath the surface. Once we understand these forces, once we learn to direct them, we can sail smoothly through the storms. It is in the unconscious mind that we find both the greatest challenges and the greatest opportunities for growth. The ancient Stoics recognized this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, faced unimaginable difficulties throughout his reign: wars, plagues, political betrayals, and personal losses. Yet he was not defeated. What made him different was his ability to master his own mind. He did not see the external world as something that could control him. He saw it as something to be accepted, understood, and moved through. The true power, according to the Stoics, is in recognizing that while we cannot control the forces of nature, we can control our response to them. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This simple yet profound truth underscores the Stoic belief that the mind is the ultimate battlefield. It is our thoughts, not the events that happen to us, that determine our suffering or our joy. Through discipline and awareness, we can train the mind to be our greatest ally. When we do, we unlock an inner strength that no external force can overcome. Marcus Aurelius was not born a philosopher. He was born to privilege, to a life of power and responsibility, and his reign was fraught with the very same struggles that any leader faces. Yet, he was known for his remarkable serenity, his ability to remain calm and composed even in the most turbulent times. He faced wars on the frontier, internal strife, and the loss of many of his closest friends and family members to the Antonine Plague. The suffering he witnessed would have broken many men, yet Marcus Aurelius persevered. His secret was not some divine gift or extraordinary strength. It was the result of an unrelenting focus on his mind. The Stoics taught that the world is indifferent to us. The universe does not care whether we succeed or fail. It simply follows its natural course. It is our role, however, to align ourselves with this course, to find our place within it, and to accept what we cannot change. Marcus Aurelius understood that the struggles he faced were not personal attacks, but part of the natural order of the universe. Instead of resisting, he embraced them. He accepted that suffering was inevitable, but he also understood that it was in how he responded to suffering that his power lay. In his meditations, he wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound statement encapsulates the Stoic mindset. Every obstacle, every hardship is not something to avoid or escape. It is an opportunity to grow, to build resilience, and to sharpen the mind. Through years of practice and reflection, Marcus Aurelius cultivated a mind that was impervious to the chaos of the external world. He did not allow the tides of fate to steer him off course. He understood that his greatest enemy was not the challenges he faced, but his own unconscious reactions to them. He had trained himself to see obstacles not as threats, but as opportunities to grow stronger. This is the essence of Stoicism: to master the mind, to align oneself with the natural flow of the universe, and to respond to life with wisdom, resilience, and calm. The key to transforming our lives lies in understanding the unconscious mind. Our habits, thoughts, and beliefs are like the currents beneath the surface of the ocean. If we can direct these currents, we can change the entire course of our lives. The habits we form each day, whether conscious or unconscious, shape our destiny. Small, seemingly insignificant actions, repeated over time, build the foundation of who we are and what we become. The Stoic talks about the importance of daily practices that strengthen the mind. He writes, "The mind is everything. What you think you become." The Stoics were masters of this idea. They understood that by training the mind daily, through practices like journaling, meditation, and self-reflection, they could align their unconscious habits with their conscious desires. In doing so, they harnessed the power of the unconscious mind and redirected it toward personal growth. The greatest philosophers, from Marcus Aurelius to Lao Tzu, understood that life's challenges were inevitable. In the Taoist tradition, we are taught to flow with the current of the universe, not to resist it. Lao Tzu wrote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Every habit, every thought, every action is a step toward aligning ourselves with the natural order of the universe. When we trust the process, when we stop fighting against the currents, we begin to see the world not as something to be conquered, but as something to be understood and embraced." This is the ultimate power of the unconscious mind. Once we gain mastery over our habits, once we learn to shape our thoughts and reactions, we no longer need to fight the tides of life. They no longer have the power to defeat us. Instead, we learn to move with them, to ride the waves with purpose and direction. The ultimate power lies not in controlling the external world, but in mastering the internal. The true leader is not the one who can command armies or conquer empires, but the one who can command themselves. The Stoics believed that our greatest responsibility is to lead ourselves, to develop the strength of character, the resilience of mind, and the wisdom to navigate life's currents. When we learn to master our thoughts, to understand the unconscious forces that guide us, we unlock the true power of leadership. This power is not found in force, but in the ability to remain calm, focused, and unshaken in the face of adversity. It is in cultivating habits of discipline, awareness, and acceptance that we align ourselves with the natural order, and in doing so, we become the masters of our own destiny. Just as Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire with wisdom and composure, we too can rule our own lives. We can overcome any challenge, face any obstacle, and navigate any storm, because we have learned to master the one thing that truly matters, our own mind.